This man looks like he's handing out flyers, but he's actually looking for his next victim to assault and kill. The first woman is rejected because her nails are too dirty. The second one is also rejected because she has had a child. Then he sees a pretty girl carrying a cake. The man decides she will be his target today. He immediately walks up to her. He starts talking to her under the pretense of handing out flyers. When the girl sees his handsome face, she is instantly drawn to him. Seeing her reaction, the man smiles proudly. He knows his prey has taken the bait. But just as they are about to exchange contact details, her uncle pulls her away by the sleeve. The man has no choice but to find another target. This time he sets his eyes on a woman who just bought a cake and is heading home. As she walks down a quiet country path, the man attacks her from behind. He drags her into a nearby field. After assaulting her, he strangles her to death with a scarf. When the police arrive the next day, the woman is already a cold, lifeless body. The police find no clues at the crime scene. While the police are still confused, the man kills a second woman. But this time the first person to find the body is Detective Hamu Yom, who is on vacation. When the police chief arrives at the scene and sees only Hamu Yom there, he immediately suspects that Hamu Yom is the killer in both cases. Because 20 years ago Hamu Yom's father was suspected of being the serial killer Gapdong. Hamu Yom noticed bloodstains on his father's coat. To protect his father, he burned the coat. When the police arrived, the coat was already completely burned. This made the police even more certain that his father was the killer. To prove his innocence, his father killed himself by jumping in front of a train. Only later did Hamu Yom learn that the blood on his father's coat was from a chicken he killed to make steamed chicken for him. But his father dies without clearing his name as a suspect. So when the chief sees Hamu Yom at the murder scene, he immediately thinks Hamu Yom is the killer. The chief believes Hamu Yom copies the 20-year-old crimes to prove Gapdong is still alive. This way his father's name can be cleared. So Hamu Yom is arrested as a suspect. While Hamu Yom is being questioned, Jack, who killed 2 girls, finds his next target. This time he chooses a girl wearing red high heels to get close to her. Jack accidentally drops a glove as he walks past her. When the girl calls him for the glove, he uses the chance to talk to her with his handsome looks, score of 99. The girl quickly falls for him. They exchange numbers on their first meeting. That same night Jack lures her to a mountain outside town. After raping her, Jack kills her brutally. Days later, an old man hiking finds the girl's red high heels. Her phone is inside one shoe. The man checks the phone and sees photos of the girl. After the attack, he calls the police right away. Police search the mountain with many officers. After an hour, they find her body near a large rock. Jack hides her under branches. Her hands are tied with special fishing knots. Like the other victims, police conclude all 3 cases are done by the same person. But when this crime happens, Hamu Yom is in jail. So he is cleared and released. Right after his release, Maria O, the girl he likes, gets a threat note from Gapdong. The note hints that Maria will be the next target. To protect Maria, Hamu Yom decides to stay by her side at all times. But Hamu Yom learns from Maria that the recent crimes happened right after his fan Emma published her comics. The comic details match the crimes perfectly, so Hamu Yom goes to question Emma. Under pressure, Emma admits Jack gave her the ideas. Jack has been pretending to be mentally ill while stalking Maria. Now Hamu Yom suspects Jack might be Gapdong's copycat. On the day of the 4th copycat crime, Jack arranges to meet Maria. Hamu Yom hides nearby during their meeting, first to protect Maria, second to confirm Jack's identity. But Hamu Yom doesn't know this meeting is Jack's trap. Meanwhile, on another street a man hits a woman's head with nunchucks. The woman convulses and dies. The man puts down his weapon satisfied. After killing the woman, the man walks onto train tracks and ends his own life. He had no choice. Days earlier, killer Jack threatened to kill the man's son unless he murdered his son's teacher. If he refused, Jack would kill his son. Jack did this to use the man as cover for his own 3 murders. During the killing, Jack meets Hamu Yom's girlfriend. To create an alibi, he forces the man to kill and then die by train. This leaves no evidence for police. But seeing the man's remains, Hamu Yom remembers his own father also died by train after being wrongly accused. Hamu Yom realizes Jack's 4th crime is a challenge to him. Jack copied Hamu Yom's father's fate. Hamu Yom drags Jack to the rooftop and points a gun at him for a confession. But just as Jack is about to confess his crime, Hamu Yom's boss shoots the gun out of his hand. Pieces from the broken gun knock Hamu Yom unconscious. Jack, who was almost exposed, escapes again because of the boss's reckless action. Jack has already killed 4 people. Following the pattern, he should soon copy Gapdong's 5th murder. Gapdong's 5th victim was a high school girl. She died in a garden. To stop Jack from killing again, the police and education department cancel all outdoor activities at high schools citywide. They also put Jack under 24-hour surveillance. But this can't stop Jack. For the 5th murder, he wants Hamu Yom to do it. Jack says, "Officer Ha, you'll kill the 5th person." Hamu Yom says, "Why would I?" Jack says, "Because if you don't, someone will die." Hamu Yom says, "Who?" Jack says, "Someone close to you, Officer Ha." Looking at this disgusting criminal, Hamu Yom wants to tear him apart. But he has no evidence to arrest Jack. To protect the girls around him, Hamu Yom first calls Emma and tells her not to go outside. Then he rushes to Maria's place and asks to stay with her. This way both girls will be safe. But soon after arriving, he finds Maria secretly drew his portrait. Hamu Yom immediately hugs Maria and confesses his feelings. Meanwhile, Emma learns from Jack that Hamu Yom is with Maria. She rushes there immediately, but outside Maria's trailer, she sees them hugging. Seeing her crush with another woman, Emma runs away heartbroken. On her way she meets Jack. Jack uses Emma's phone to call Hamu Yom. Jack tells Hamu Yom over the phone. Jack tells Hamu Yom that if he doesn't kill someone, then Emma, the high school girl, will become the 5th victim. Using the last phone call location and street cameras, the police find out Jack has taken Emma from Ilton City to Susong. They immediately follow the trail to this city. The police start searching as soon as they arrive. They check every park in Susong, but before they can find Jack, he kidnaps another girl in a park. He posts the girl's photo online. The heart-shaped design on her nails matches Emma's selfie. She sent Hamu Yom that morning. Everyone thinks Emma might be dead. Following the IP address from Jack's post, Hamu Yom rushes to a park in Susong's suburbs. But when he arrives, he finds Emma sitting safely in a room. If Emma is unharmed, who is the girl in Jack's photo? Hamu Yom realizes Jack tricked him again. Another girl thought Jack was handsome and carelessly brought him home. She was killed. After they got home, the killer ties her hands with her own underwear, strips her clothes, and covers her body with flower petals. Then he takes her phone, takes photos, and boldly sends them to the police. This is Jack's way of mocking the Korean police. She's his 5th victim, but the police can't find solid evidence to arrest him. When Hamu Yom arrives at the scene, he only finds the girl's body covered in petals. Seeing the horrible scene, Hamu Yom drops to his knees and cries he regrets not seeing through Jack's plan sooner to stop this tragedy. At the crime scene, police find no traces of the killer, though everyone knows it's Jack. There's no real proof to make Jack confess. Hamu Yom takes him to the station for a lie detector test. After the test, they find the machine doesn't work on Jack. The police have to let him go. Jack just leaves the police station. His mother suddenly returns from the US and finds him. But this long-lost reunion between mother and son has no warm or touching moments. Their talk lasts only a few minutes. Then the mother hands Jack 2 poison pills. She tells him to kill himself. The mother has confirmed that Jack is behind the recent 5 murders. She wants her son to end his own life to avoid hurting the company's stock price if he gets arrested. The mother knows Jack is the killer because when Jack was 11 years old, he hated his father and killed him at home. Since he was a minor, he didn't face legal punishment. But as an adult, Jack committed crimes again and was sent to a mental hospital. There he met Gapdong, who had been on the run for 20 years. That's why Jack can copy Gapdong's old killing methods perfectly. After seeing his mother, Jack invites psychiatrist Maria O to his home. He shows her the poison his mother gave him and asks her to choose whether to save him. Then he swallows the pills. Maria now knows Jack is the serial killer. When she sees Jack lying on the floor, she hesitates. "Maria, as a doctor I should call for help." But as a victim with a similar past, Maria thinks Jack deserves to die 100 times. Maria doesn't know what to do, so she calls her boyfriend Hamu Yom. Maria asks, "Can I kill him?" Hamu Yom says, "Kill him, Maria. Are you going to kill Jack?" Maria says, "I want to kill him, but I really don't know if I should do it." After talking with Hamu Yom, Maria finally calls an ambulance for Jack. Later, Hamu Yom tells Maria, even if they want to punish this evil man, they should let the law deal with him. Hamu Yom thinks Jack should spend the rest of his life in prison. Hamu Yom doesn't know that saving Jack will lead to another innocent girl's death. This rich kid looks harmless on the outside, but secretly he has raped and killed 5 girls. When Jack becomes a suspect and tries to flee abroad, a flight attendant recognizes him at the airport. To avoid alerting him, she nervously guides Jack to the first-class cabin. When Jack goes to the restroom, he overhears the attendant bad-mouthing him. On a call she says, "Yes, it's suspect Jack. Seeing him in person gives me chills. He's terrifying." Hearing this, Jack's face darkens with anger. After takeoff, when everyone in first class falls asleep, Jack goes to the supply room. He lifts the curtain, then strangles the attendant with headphone wires. When other attendants find her body on the floor, they're horrified. Since the plane has cameras, Jack can't escape this time. He's arrested immediately after landing. During interrogation, Jack confesses to killing the 5 earlier victims. He also reveals that at the treatment center the real Gapdong is there. But when Hamu Yom rushes there, he learns Gapdong has been released. Meanwhile, Gapdong drives a taxi and offers Maria a ride home, claiming it's on his way. Maria is the treatment center's psychologist and Gapdong was her patient. Since others often bullied Gapdong there, Maria thinks he's harmless. After his persistent offers, Maria finally enters his car. Luckily, Hamu Yom calls right after she gets in. He warns Maria that the man with her is actually Gapdong. To avoid suspicion, Maria stays calm and pretends she doesn't know. Claiming an emergency call, she quickly exits the taxi. Maria narrowly escapes danger. Hamu Yom then tracks Gapdong's taxi movements. They locate his parked car in the suburbs. As soon as Hamu Yom gets out of the car, he sees a woman's handbag lying abandoned on the ground. When he sees the handbag, a bad feeling comes over Hamu Yom. He immediately starts searching around, just as Gapdong raises a hammer and is about to attack the woman. Hamu Yom finally finds Gapdong. Hamu Yom jumps forward and grabs the hammer from Gapdong's hand. Then he quickly overpowers Gapdong. But when Hamu Yom takes Gapdong in for questioning, the man refuses to admit that he committed the 9 murders 20 years ago. He says he only did tonight's crime. When the boss sees the captured man, he can tell the man is telling the truth because the boss has been chasing Gapdong for 20 years. He's sure the man isn't lying, since the woman tonight didn't die. The man can only be charged with attempted murder, and from him the police get no useful clues. Now all possible suspects have been ruled out. The case hits a dead end. To find new leads, Hamu Yom questions Jack again. But he finds nothing from Jack either, because Jack also thought the man last night was Gapdong. Since Jack is diagnosed with mental illness, he's sent back to the treatment center. But that night Jack suddenly has an episode. To calm Jack down, Maria rushes to the center. After seeing Maria, Jack finally reveals his motive. Jack says he killed so many people because the fake Gapdong told him that after the 9th murder Gapdong would tell him the truth about Maria's kidnapping case. He did all this just because he was curious about that case. So Jack and Maria make a deal. Maria tells him what happened that night. Jack confesses all his past murders. In the end, Maria trades her painful memories for Jack's full confession. Because of this confession, Jack will finally face legal punishment. When Maria tells Jack about what happened 20 years ago, she suddenly remembers Gapdong's face. Maria quickly goes to the police station to help make a sketch of the criminal. They hope this will help create a picture of Gapdong, but in the end they only get a blurry image of his younger self. Looking at the photo, they feel it looks familiar, but can't remember who it is. As Maria is about to leave, Officer Cha Du-hyok says something that catches her attention. He says, "You won. Does it feel good?" Maria asks, "What?" She is shocked by his words. At first, she doesn't understand what he means. She had just told the police how she survived Gapdong 20 years ago by winning a game of rock, paper, scissors with her best friend. She thinks Officer Cha is just curious. But later Maria starts to feel uneasy because Officer Cha's question is exactly what Gapdong asked her back then. "You won. Does it feel good?" Maria can't believe her own thoughts, but to test her suspicion, she tells her boyfriend Hamu Yom. A few days later, Hamu Yom finds a photo of young Officer Cha and sends it to Maria. When she sees the photo, she drops her phone in shock. Her worst fear has come true. She never expected the kind Officer Cha to be the serial killer Gapdong from 20 years ago. At the same time, the police get a report about a woman's body found at a construction site. After DNA testing, they confirm the victim is Lily, the officer who disappeared 20 years ago. Hamu Yom then goes to Lily's home. Hamu Yom tells Lily's mother about her daughter's death. At Lily's mother's place, Hamu Yom gets the only letter Lily left behind. The letter turns out to be a love letter. When Hamu Yom returns to the police station and shows the love letter to Chief Cha, Chief Cha waits until Hamu Yom leaves, then crumples Lily's love letter into a ball and angrily throws it in the trash. If he had seen this love letter 20 years earlier, he wouldn't have become Gapdong. It turns out 20 years ago young Chief Cha had a crush on Lily. One day at a tea house, he accidentally sees Lily seemingly bad-mouthing him to a friend with a disgusted look on her face. That same night, he waits on Lily's usual path home and beats her to death with a rock. From then on, he becomes the monster Gapdong. Only after seeing the love letters date does Chief Cha realize that Lily was actually coming to confess her love to him that night. Her shyness caused that expression. Chief Cha gets furious after reading the letter, but Hamu Yom sees him tearing it up. Hamu Yom immediately senses something's wrong. Later that night, Maria O finds Hamu Yom and reveals Chief Cha is Gapdong. This confirms Hamu Yom's earlier suspicion. He never imagined his most trusted superior is the killer Gapdong. Though they know Chief Cha is the criminal, they can't convict him with just Maria's testimony and a love letter. What's worse, South Korea's statute of limitations is 15 years. After that, no charges can be filed. All 9 Gapdong cases are over 20 years old. Luckily, because Gapdong's crimes were so terrible, the limit was extended to 25 years. They just need solid evidence to bring Chief Cha to justice. So the two go to see the copycat killer Jack. They ask him how to make Cha Do-hyuk confess. Jack says if he were Gapdong and the police had no evidence, he would never admit to the crimes. But Jack gives them a bad idea. He tells Hamu Yom to arrest Cha Do-hyuk first, take his DNA, and pretend to compare it with Gapdong's during the test. Use Cha Do-hyuk's DNA for both samples. Then the match result will naturally show 99%. That way they can convict Cha Do-hyuk. Maria O says this plan could work. She has waited 20 years for Gapdong to be caught. But Hamu Yom refuses Jack's idea. Gapdong's DNA was destroyed long ago. If they use this method to arrest Cha Do-hyuk and the media finds out, Cha Do-hyuk might even be cleared of suspicion. So they must never fake evidence. While they secretly investigate, Cha Do-hyuk suddenly gets a text. It says someone is checking his travel records. Cha Do-hyuk senses trouble. He remembers Jack acting strangely when Hamu Yom arranged their meeting earlier. Hamu Yom asked, "Do you know Gapdong?" Jack replied, "Of course," then pointed at Cha Do-hyuk to change the subject. Cha Do-hyuk remembers clearly. Jack pointed at him and said, "Your clothes are wrinkled." So Cha Do-hyuk rushes to the prison to see Jack. He tells the guards to turn off cameras and leave from Jack. He learns Hamu Yom found out he's Gapdong. Cha Do-hyuk tries to turn Jack against them, promising to save him from execution. But Jack doesn't respond because Maria O also promised that if Jack proves Cha Do-hyuk is Gapdong, she'll give him a mental illness diagnosis to avoid execution. When Hamu Yom hears Cha Do-hyuk visited Jack at night to stop him from escaping, he arrests him immediately. If Jack proves Cha Do-hyuk is Gapdong, she'll write in Jack's mental evaluation that he has a mental disorder. This way Jack can avoid the death penalty. But when Cha Do-hyuk secretly visits Jack at night, Hamu Yom finds out to stop Cha Do-hyuk from escaping. Hamu Yom arrests him immediately because the Gapdong case is past the statute of limitations. The police can't hold Cha Do-hyuk as Gapdong, so the only charges they can use are abuse of power and breaking the law. They only have 48 hours to question him. If they can't find proof that Cha Do-hyuk is Gapdong, they'll have to let him go. The police check all murder cases from the past 20 years, but none connect to Cha Do-hyuk. He used his position to destroy all evidence against him. After 45 hours of searching, they find nothing. Time is running out. So Maria O goes to the station to talk to Cha Do-hyuk alone. She tries to provoke him by mentioning the past, but the experienced Cha Do-hyuk shows no reaction. Instead, he lies and says Maria has the wrong person. He even lets Maria touch his hands, asking her to feel if they're the same as 20 years ago. When Maria touches them, he whispers to her, "How did you win at rock, paper, scissors back then?" Hearing this, Maria completely breaks down. She grabs Cha Do-hyuk's neck and tries to kill him. Hamu Yom rushes in to stop her, not wanting her to commit a crime. Maria leaves the room, crying uncontrollably. The man who hurt her 20 years ago is right there, but she can't bring him to justice. She fears Cha Do-hyuk will run away if released, making him harder to catch. But just as the 48 hours end and he's about to be freed, the prosecutor suddenly announces Cha Do-hyuk is officially charged. Hours earlier, Dr. Han, the police profiler, decides to sacrifice himself to punish Cha Do-hyuk. He told the girl his name was Gapdong. Cha Do-hyuk's acting is very convincing. Finally, the experts all agree Cha Do-hyuk really has a split personality, so he is set free without punishment. Even his travel ban is lifted. But when Maria watches Cha Do-hyuk's hypnosis video, she notices something strange. Cha Do-hyuk says, "When I killed her, I clearly told her, I am Gapdong." Maria remembers the name, Gapdong, was only used after the second murder. But Cha Do-hyuk says he told the first victim he was Gapdong. This instantly makes Maria realize she sees his split personality is fake. To force Cha Do-hyuk to show his true self, Maria asks Jack for help. She has Jack chat with Cha Do-hyuk online. Then they provoke him on purpose. They want him to commit another crime. Cha Do-hyuk, who enjoys killing, falls for it. He decides to kill one more person before leaving. So Cha Do-hyuk goes to the swimming pool Young-a often visits. He plans to attack her there. But before he can do anything, Hamu Yom shows up. The two start arguing about Gapdong right away. As Hamu Yom keeps insulting him, Cha Do-hyuk loses control. He angrily pushes Hamu Yom down. Then he grabs Hamu Yom's gun and points it at him. Young-a quickly aims her gun at Cha Do-hyuk too. This is exactly what Hamu Yom wanted. He purposely made Cha Do-hyuk act. When Cha Do-hyuk tries to shoot, Young-a shoots him in the shoulder first. So when Cha Do-hyuk fires, the bullet only hits Hamu Yom's shoulder. But this alone isn't enough to convict him. They need proof of his other murders in the past 15 years. To force Cha Do-hyuk to talk, Hamu Yom drags him into his car. He speeds down the road at 180 kilometers per hour. Hamu Yom tells Cha Do-hyuk, "If you don't confess where you buried your latest victim," Mu Yom says he'll crash the car and kill them both if Do-hyuk doesn't talk. The earlier shooting was just a warning. It shows Mu Yom isn't afraid to die. Though Do-hyuk has killed many people, he still wants to live. Do-hyuk sees Mu Yom's bleeding shoulder and how he's struggling to drive straight. Do-hyuk finally gives in under Mu Yom's pressure. Do-hyuk takes him to where he buried his latest victim. Police later dig up a woman's body there. Tests show she died within the last 3 years. So Do-hyuk can't escape punishment anymore. Do-hyuk gets life in prison with no chance of parole. As for Jack, Do-hyuk's copycat, doctors confirm he has mental illness. Since Jack is a British citizen, he's deported from Korea and banned from ever returning. But when Jack goes to the hospital to say goodbye to Maria, 2 killers stop him and stab him many times. When Maria rushes outside, Jack is barely alive with his last breath, maybe because people speak truth before death. Jack tells Maria before dying that he never wanted to kill. He wanted to be good, but couldn't control himself. With these words, Jack dies. The killers who stabbed Jack were hired by Do-hyuk from prison. He did this because he believed only he could be Gapdong. But when Do-hyuk tries to act like Gapdong in prison, a prison gang leader stabs his eyes with a spoon, and so the story ends.